another thing that I heard from other people, other brokers, that a lot of the times, when you're trying to, brokering, do you deal directly with the customer, or you deal with their pilots who are going to fly the plane?
So what's nice about brokering is you got two sides of the equation, similar to real estate, right? You've got the buyer side, you got the seller side. So when you're first starting out, a lot of times you work on the seller side, right? You're calling the sellers,
Okay.
you're finding an airplane to sell because you put the
Hmm.
airplane to sell out there, which gets you buyers who call in on your aircraft. So most of the time, especially in the legacies, you're dealing with the owners themselves. And then once you get that contract signed, you might talk with their team, their pilot, if they have any questions, or their mechanic. You're going to need, maintenance reports from the mechanic. So you'll deal with their team there on the seller side. From the buyer side, it really depends. Some guys are really hands-on and they want to handle it from soup to nuts. Or they might have, as I recommend in the Ultimate Jet Guide, you should have a power team. You should have a lawyer on your team. You should have a mechanic on your
Yeah.
team. You should have a pilot on your team. So the nice thing about brokers is we're masters of the chaos, right? We're the point of contact for everything. And we're the glue that holds everything together, because frankly, you don't want two mechanics talking to each other, because one looks at the buyer is going to look at the mechanic, the seller's mechanic, and be like, oh, he did all this wrong, so that he can look like the hero. Not to say that always happens, but it's a temptation. And so, as the broker, it's important that you're talking to everybody. I've been in situations where we're in the middle of a pre-buy and the buyer and the seller go into a conference room together and they start talking and they try to negotiate the deal together. And, just the personalities, the personality of the owner was very earthy, down to earth, and brash. And he just said whatever he, thought. And the seller didn't appreciate his tone, didn't appreciate his candidness. And so the seller was very turned off in that meeting. I'm sorry, the buyer was turned off by the seller in that meeting. And we kind of took one step back before we could take two steps forward. And again, that's a great part about being a jet broker, is you get to talk to everybody, and you're the glue that holds the whole deal together. Because it's not uncommon that the deal could fall through if you weren't there.